Come in.
Sir?
Flu.
Sir?
Lewis was saying you had a touch of flu.
Right.
When I was wondering where you were.
Right.
Not having a depression, are we?
No, we're not.
Every time I drive past your neck of the woods, there seems to be another new off-license. And I think to myself, bees round the honey pot. Good. Know who this is?
I don't want those.
It's the files on the Craven case.
And?
And so I thought you'd want them.
Well, I don't. Lewis?
Sir?
When did she go missing?
About 6 months ago.
Yes, yes. The date.
Well, I don't know exactly. I'd have to check in the file.
What's all this about flu, Lewis?
I don't know, sir.
Don't know, sir.
Anything else?
Yes. I'm sorry to disappoint you, Lewis, but she's dead.
Well, how do you know?
They put me under these things when they can smell a corpse. 1 file, anybody. 2 files, Ainley. Or Mackay. I'm the 3-file man. No, she's dead. Cream of the country, eh?
I wouldn't know, sir.
Rich and thick.
Oh, it's a bit unfair, isn't it? We wouldn't mind our Louise going to this school. She's not rich or thick.
You ever thought about the person who designed the sports skirt? Somebody sat down and drew a fantasy and made it compulsory uniform. I could never watch Wimbledon without thanking that man.
Shall we go in?
In a minute.
Can I help you?
Hello.
This is private property. Are you parents?
I'm not, no, but Sergeant Lewis is.
I see. Do you have an appointment, Inspector Morse? I'm assuming you're here about Valerie Craven, yes?
That's why I'm here, yes, but I think Sergeant Lewis would like some information about your fees.
An interesting girl. Bright. Quite bright. Wild, but I liked her. I taught her English. She left school on Thursday, the 24th of March at about 4:30. She's a day girl. She waved goodbye to me, actually. Rather ironic. Just walked off down the drive. No one's heard from her since. Wild is not fair, really. Spirit. I thought you people had given up.
Oh, no.
I expect you know her father through the police committee.
I've never met the man. I am intimate with one of his cement mixers.
Sorry?
There's a lot of building going on across the way from me.
Everywhere you look.
That's right.
And very ugly.
That's right.
Sorry, Miss Graves. He's a powerful man.
Yes, that's why we're still trying to find his daughter. Your ordinary missing person gets about a week. What do you think has happened to her?
I've no idea. You should ask the head, really. He knows the family very well. George Craven is a school governor and so on.
Was she happy, would you say?
Yes, I should think so. I mean, slice any teenager in Half Inspector and there's a great deal of melancholy and angst and rage, but I would have said she was happy, yeah. Excuse me. Mrs. Webb, is the head around? There are a couple of police officers here who'd like a word with me.
Sounds familiar, sir.
What does?
Well, you know, melancholy and rage and so on.
What time is it?
Coming up 2:40.
My cousin is married to a woman who's 12 years younger than he is. Which means when he was 20, she was 8.
Did they know each other when she was 8?
I don't know.
I'm sorry to keep you waiting. The head's been delayed. He was at a headmaster's conference in London over the weekend.
We'll make an appointment.
Time, please, ladies and gentlemen. Time, please. Thank you.
2 pints, please.
Sorry, I've called time. When? Just now.
Oh, come on, 2 pints.
Sorry.
There are people still drinking.
Thanks, sir. Otherwise I'll get shot. I got you these. It was all I had.
For me,
Yes, sir.
undrinkable. It's not real beer, you see. That's nothing to do with beer. Take it home, thanks all the same.
Right. Where we're going?
To see the dad.
Got specific instructions not to disturb the family.
That's right.
The thing with you is, somebody tells you you can't do something, you go right on and do it, don't you?
I make it a rule.
Another chap on leave, is he?
No, fresh legs, I think, is the idea.
I can't say I liked him very much. Not much going on upstairs.
A man doesn't have to be stupid because he hasn't found your daughter.
You see, 4 months ago, this was pasture, where we're standing now. You know, a bit of a farm. And you go in and you get on with it. You make things happen. You sweat. You get results.
Yes.
I dredged the canals myself. My people. But I was there, personally. And the reservoir. I didn't want somebody going on about the cost. I put stuff in the newspaper and there's a reward. I hope you've got a few half-decent ideas.
Not yet, no.
Morse. Are you the drinker?
I don't know. Are you the tyrant?
See these shoes? Horrible, aren't they? Full of muck. I never buy good shoes because I spend my life wading through muck. My wife won't let me through the front door of the house. That's all you need to know about me.
What do you think has happened to Valerie?
Kidnapped, yet there was no phone call. Temper? We can't be angry for 6 months, can you? So I dredged the canal. I walked the woods behind my house with a rake in my hand.
Has a temper, though, does she?
Have you got any kids, Morse?
No.
No. Come towards me.
What?
Just come towards me. Take my arm. These are going to be compulsory at Homewood. I've ordered 1,000 of them.
So you've no idea why Valerie might have decided to leave home? Man, quarrel.
Read the files, Inspector. I'm not going to repeat myself. Get your feet dirty.
What was that noise?
I think that was a cry from the heart.
Bye, see you tomorrow.
Carol? I gather I missed a visit.
That's right.
And?
Oh, I'm sure they'll be back. Prod, prod, poke, poke. They wanted to know if Valerie had ever confided in me about anything. If there was something on her mind.
And you said?
Oh, nothing much. Excuse me, Headmaster.
Sir? Yes. Look at this. I'm fine, don't worry. I'm very happy, and this is the right thing for me. I know you've been worrying, and I want to tell you everything, but I can't. But please don't worry about me. Love and hugs, Valerie.
What's all that about?
Craven's got this morning, through the post.
Postmark?
London SW3, yesterday. Well, she's obviously alive, and we can assume she's in London. I took a diary home with me last night. There's mention of a John Maguire, a boyfriend, who lives in the SW3 area. I think she's there.
Good. That's all right, then.
It is. I think we should go and pay this Maguire a visit.
You go. Did anybody read this diary before you, Lewis?
Oh, yes, sir, of course. Chief Inspector Ainley interviewed the man on 2 separate occasions.
Kept her under the bed, then.
What's the matter?
Nothing. It's hot.
No, I mean Valerie Craven. What's the matter?
Valerie Craven is dead.
Why do you want her to be dead? And if she is dead, how can she write this letter and post it?
Is there a date on that letter?
No.
Well, let me look at it. How do we know this is Valerie Craven's handwriting?
Well, I'm having it checked, but it matches the writing in a diary to an untrained eye.
Okay. So you're guessing it's a genuine letter. Doesn't mean it was written yesterday, does it? Doesn't mean she posted it herself. Doesn't mean it was actually written to her parents. I mean, the envelope doesn't match particularly. And it may well be that this sheet of paper has lost its head. Dear who is what we should be asking ourselves. Dear who and when?
Not likely to be home this time of day, is he?
Exactly. So if he's hiding around under the bed, we'll find out, won't we? Know this man, do you?
Mr. Maguire? I know who he is, yes. Don't know him in the sense of knowing him, no.
Thanks.
I should come in with you.
I'd rather you kept an eye on our backs. I know before I meet Mr. Maguire that I won't like him.
What's that, sir?
Nothing. Do you like London, Lewis?
No, not much. Maguire's a country sort by the looks of it.
You reckon? We ought to be able to arrest him for his taste, Lewis, but we can't. So, you know, has he paid his television license? Is his telephone approved?
Goes in for the gadgets. Owes his credit cards a lot of money. In fact, he owes his credit cards nearly as much as I earn in a year.
Hateful, but not enough.
What about this?
These? No. Cross-dressing, it's legal.
No, I mean Valerie.
You see, if Valerie lived here, there'd be magazines, books, I don't know, something. If she died here, that's different. Interesting.
Will contain a unique mixture of residential and commercial accommodation.
Mr. Maguire, our negotiator, is upstairs in the show flat. Please walk up.
By looking at us.
What does she say about Maguire in her diary?
Nothing very. No, I can't remember precisely, to tell the truth. His name, obviously.
Memorable stuff.
Well, you know they met at a party. Oh, his star sign. She talks about his star sign.
There's your motive, then. He murders anyone who asks him what his sign is. I like him better already.
It's very sophisticated and very sensitive. And it means you can leave the door open and still be secure. Now, if someone could just be the burglar. No, hang on, I'll be the burglar. Would you be kind enough? Just press the buttons marked police and alarm on, and then off when I trigger the alarm, all right? On, then off. Great. So, here I am after your original Picasso, your Ming vase, and the keys to your Porsche. I spend half an hour forcing the double-turn lock, tiptoe in, and hey presto. And it's also sounding downstairs at the porter's lodge. Thanks. Could you turn it off, please? Well done.
Mr. Maguire, could we have a word?
Yeah, I'll answer any questions at the end, okay?
Just a few minutes outside.
Look, if you miss the start, we can go around again when I've finished.
We're policemen.
And?
Would like a brief word in private.
What about? I'm working. Is this more about Valerie Craven? Give me a few seconds, will you? Just have a wander around. Okay. Great. I've had it up to here with you people.
Let's just go out on the balcony, shall we?
I'm going to speak to my lawyer about this because this is harassment.
I'm sorry, sir. What is?
I made a statement. I've been questioned about 8 times.
Not by us.
Look, I met her at a party. I saw her once or twice. This is like months ago. End of subject.
She writes about you in a diary.
Yeah?
Did she ever visit your flat?
No, I met her in Oxford at a party. I don't know where she is or what happened to her. All right?
Nice flat you've got.
Say again?
It's not quite in this league, but we thought it was very, what did we think it was, Sergeant?
When did you go to my flat?
Just now. Had a little look around.
You what? You better have a search warrant, Sunshine, because otherwise...
Otherwise what? How's the nose?
My nose is fine, thanks. How's yours?
Bit sniffy.
Don't try that one. There's nothing there. It's absolutely clean.
It's very hard to be absolutely clean. Tell me, when did Valerie Craven tell you she was pregnant?
Look, you better let me get rid of these.
Go ahead.
I didn't know she was pregnant.
No, neither did I.
Okay. I've got Chief Inspector Morse and Sergeant Lewis here today to ask you some questions about Valerie. Now, I'm going to go. I think the officers are worried I might inhibit you, so don't spare them any of the dirt. The truth about Dooley. The caretaker. He's 103, but we've got our theories. So they're all yours. If they bite, press the fire alarm. Or get them to press their personal alarms.
Yes, we heard about them.
Yes, we're all kitted out, aren't we?
She was never short of men, her school friend confided. She was always in love every 5 minutes. Was her best friend. Really wild, another friend, etc., etc. So, is this true?
Not really.
I think it is, actually.
It's ridiculous.
The papers make things up. It's common knowledge.
None of us talk to the press. They put words into your mouth.
Did she ever mention the name of any boyfriend? John Maguire?
I know about John Maguire, but only because we've had this before with some other people, other policemen, and they talked about her diary and stuff. But, you know, she might write something in her diary that wasn't even true. Well, I've done that. I mean, your diary's personal, isn't it? I mean, it can be describing something you hope might happen or wanted to happen. If anybody found my diary, they'd have a field day.
What about boyfriends at the university?
Possibly, I don't know. Well, there might have been.
But what about crushes?
Everybody has crushes. That's what we're trying to say to you.
Everybody has crushes. Everybody has boyfriends. Or not, as the case may be.
Crushes on teachers?
Sure.
Valerie?
Everybody.
There aren't that many male members of staff to choose from, are there?
Not that they necessarily would have to be male.
There's Dooley.
Apart from Dooley.
Ron.
Who's Ron?
Mr. Ronald, classics.
Is he nice?
He's all right. And Mr. Acombe, but he's left.
DPP?
DPP?
The head, Mr. Phillipson.
We love this place. We love it. We've both travelled. We're both ambitious people, wouldn't you say? But we came here, and we came in autumn, I remember, and the leaves were shedding in great flocks, and it was beautiful. Remember that? Gosh. And well, I'm not intending to leave. They'll have to carry me out. It's very nice.
It is. Becky, Inspector Morse needs talking.
And it's wonderful for Sheila. She has a fellowship, you know. St. Thomas's. She has the brains. I'm the domestic.
That's lies on both counts.
You going for these, Inspector?
No.
You should, you should. 3 is perfect. Someone to bowl at, someone on the boundary, and someone to keep wicket.
Don't take any notice of him. We never do.
Does it bother you living on the school grounds?
Quite the contrary. I saunter over. I come home for lunch. I live like a lord. I have my wonderful school. I have my little zoo here. I'm very lucky.
Do you have any theories? Do you mind my talking about
Absolutely.
Valerie Craven while we're all...
Go ahead. I mean, we make it a policy to talk as a family.
Right. I just wondered what your thoughts were.
What happened to Valerie? Well, I think it's probable...
Well, you think... Sorry, darling, you carry.
No, sorry, darling, carry on.
Yes, well, until we heard she'd written to her parents, I think we'd come to imagine, hadn't we, that she was probably not going to turn up.
I think that was certainly our...
Yes.
But, obviously...
Obviously, since the letter, what can one think other than that she's...
Well, she's obviously alive, thank God. But where and with whom?
What are your theories so far?
I don't seem to have theories. I have questions, which I don't have the answers to. Sergeant Lewis is the man with all the theories, isn't that right, Sergeant?
Well, I've always thought that Valerie was alive, I must say, and that we'll find her.
Good.
I think we're on a trail.
Mind you, Sergeant Lewis has some very far-fetched ideas. We've had Valerie having an affair with the caretaker, Dooley, and you.
Dooley! Wonderful idea.
And you.
Oh, that's much more plausible. She was terribly pretty.
Yes, I'm rather flattered by the idea.
Donald, you know very well that half of Homewood has a huge crush on you.
Half is an exaggeration. Third at most.
And then he moved on, didn't you, Lewis? Mr. Ronald's come and gone. And who was the man that left, the French teacher?
Mm-hmm. Oh, Acombe, David Acombe.
Oh, now, he was nice. In fact, it's heresy, I know, but given his wife, who was a crushing stodge, it has to be said. He could be forgiven for having... No, he couldn't.
No, he couldn't, and no, he didn't. He was much too... I mean, there are some people you can imagine jumping into bed, and there are others for whom the imagination will not leap.
Where is he now?
Reading, a comprehensive, huge.
Better money?
Considerably less, I'd imagine.
So?
Who knows? It was a Catholic school he went to, although I don't think he was particularly religious himself. Bit of a chip, politics, pressure from the wife, I don't know. You must realize that some people look at a school like Homewood and every beautiful tree, each A-level result, every motivated, bright, alert student is an insult to them. Not that it was necessarily true of Acomb, but he was a sort of Morris Minor type.
Just wait, I'll go. Mrs. Acomb, Chief Inspector Morse, Thames Valley. I think my sergeant will have phoned. I came on the off chance of seeing your husband. Is he in?
No, no,
Doesn't come home for lunch?
no.
Well, I'm sorry I've disturbed you, and, obviously... Do those... I've always wondered, do those things hurt when they come off?
No, they don't.
Well, there you are. Learned something, anyway. Thanks.
Of course I remember her. Has she turned up then?
No, but she's been writing letters.
Really? Recently?
A couple of days ago.
Well, that's good, isn't it? I mean, at least she's alive. Great.
As far as we can gather, Mr. Acomb, you must have been one of the last people to see her.
Was I?
This is a French exercise book. Valerie, please see me after the lesson. And French was the last lesson.
And is that the day she went missing?
March the 24th.
Ah. Oh, sorry, what am I thinking of? Would either of you like one?
No, thanks.
You're very welcome.
Positive.
You're quite right. I make terrible sandwiches. I can't work out whether this is pate or peanut butter.
So, what would this have been about, sir?
Valerie? Let me see. There was an exam coming up, I seem to remember. I probably wanted to have a word with her about it. Or was there? I don't know, actually. It could have been about anything. March. Is it as long ago as that? Amazing.
So, didn't you enjoy teaching young ladies?
It was all right.
Why move, then?
I don't know. I wasn't very happy there, to tell you the truth. I don't know. That school, Homewood, it's one of those places where you feel... Well, I expect you've been there. It's one of those places where you feel the sun shines all the time. All day, every day, sun. And you can't help remembering all the places where it's always cloudy. And then you can start to think that the one place is sunny at the expense of the other place is cloud, and vice versa. I'm beginning to sound like the weather report.
Well, I thought Acomb was a nice bloke.
Kiss of death saying that to me, Lewis. Makes me very suspicious. It goes straight to the top of my list.
What about the forensic labs at Aldermost?
Seen it.
And?
90% probability in favor of her having written it.
So what's the problem?
She can't have Max. She's dead. I'm positive.
You mean about 90% positive? Look, Morse, I'm a pathologist. I'm not a handwriting expert.
But?
Well, it could be forged, I don't know. I could probably forge that handwriting. But then I'm not your average body in the street.
Same again?
No.
Bitter, please.
What's the matter with you?
Nothing at all.
A girl's gone missing. She writes a letter to her parents. That's good, isn't it?
Why does she cut off the top of the paper?
Printed address.
Dear Mum and Dad?
Maybe she doesn't think they are dear. I don't know.
No, you see, I've spent the past week around all this money. All these beautiful places, things. People who tell me how happy they are, that they've got everything they want. Everyone is very polite, smiles at me. And I'm not convinced. I don't believe it.
That's you, though, friend, isn't it? That's your problem.
Is it?
Just because the girl is from a well-off family doesn't make the pain any less for the parents.
No, but if her dad wasn't on the police committee, we wouldn't know anything about it, would we?
Only a man without children could talk the way you do. You know, imagine you've lost your only recording of the ring cycle. And try and think some things might hurt even worse than that.
Yes, but I've got it on cassette as well.
No, I'll tell you how I met my husband. He came over to Ireland to hunt. I rode to hounds in those days. Anyway, George is a strong man, and he lifted me off my horse, literally. Were it possible, I think he would have carried me over to this country there and then, but as it was, he had to observe a few formalities. I was married to someone else at the time. So, will you have milk?
Please, no sugar. What sort of relationship did you have with Valerie?
I am her mother. We're very, very close. So sometimes she hated me.
Right, but you spoke.
Oh, yes.
Did she tell you she was pregnant?
No, because she wasn't.
We have reason to believe she was.
Well, you're quite wrong. I would have known.
The night she disappeared, were you expecting her home as usual?
Of course.
Was she often late?
Sometimes.
Why?
The usual things, you know. Something at school, visiting friends. I was never her jailer.
These friends, would they be girlfriends or boyfriends?
Oh, both, I would think, wouldn't you?
I'm trying to work out why you didn't contact the police until the following morning.
Because my husband was away. Because somehow I was expecting her to walk through that door any minute. Because somehow I still am. Because I don't know.
That's fine. And is Valerie... Is your husband Valerie's father?
No, he isn't. He's always wanted us to have children, but somehow over the years, people have assumed that she's his. So, there's no need for him to know we've discussed this. I'm not saying he's an easy man, but he worships her.
Yes.
When we got the letter, well, you can imagine.
Sir? Where are the Craven files?
I've got them.
Well, bring them in.
Right.
Did you say you'd read that diary?
I did, yes.
What did she say about her dad?
I don't know, nothing I can remember.
Well, just get it.
It's funny looking at this. Makes you feel sad, doesn't it?
What, because she's dead, you mean?
No, sir. I don't think she is dead.
So you keep saying?
She wrote a letter. The path lab confirmed it was her handwriting.
Okay, she wrote a letter. She's alive. She's in London and quite happy where she is. Thank you very much. Fine.
I've still got to find her.
Why? So we can drag her back home, tell her what a naughty girl she's been?
Yeah, if we have to. It is a missing persons case, so we find the person that's missing.
It's no case if she wrote the letter.
Okay.
But the fact is, she's dead. It isn't missing persons, it's murder. Yes?
The Chief Super thought you ought to see this, sir. Just arrived. No print.
I hear you're trying to find me. I don't want you to because I don't want to go back home. I'm very happy. Yours truly, Valerie Craven.
It's me. I know. I'm sorry. It's just the police called. They've had another letter from Valerie. I know. She said she didn't ever want to come home. Look, I really need to see you. I keep having these terrible dreams. I'm sorry. Yes, I'll go. Okay. Okay.
You sent for me?
Yes.
Is something the matter?
I don't know. I had a phone call from the police this morning. They've received a letter from Valerie.
But they can't have.
Inspector.
I know it's late. Is it too late?
Well, actually it is.
Right.
I'm not going to turn you away.
Then I won't go.
Here.
Oh, thank you.
Is this a professional call?
I think so, yes.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So,
I'll tell you. I can't think in straight lines, you see, so sometimes I bash into the answers and sometimes I walk straight past them. Was that a mixed metaphor?
Yep, probably.
So, you see, I've had some thoughts and I wanted your opinion. Although probably what will happen, it'll be like that board game where the last person you thought had done it.
Done what?
Whatever it is.
Well, I'm lost, but don't let that stop you.
You live alone?
2 cats.
Anyway, I don't think that direction constitutes professional, so... Tell me about Mr. Phillipson.
The head. Very charming. You've met him. Very charming.
Do you like him?
Pass.
Is he a good headmaster?
I'm sure he is.
I'm not writing this down.
You don't need to. Isn't it the function of the deputy to see the problems of the head?
Probably.
Look, I'll tell you a story about Donald Phillipson. Last summer at the sports day, we have a sports day which is quite a grand affair. Lots of pretty dresses and hats and homemade jam, but quite serious as well, you know, house teams, a cup. Anyway, at the end of it, for light relief, there was a race for the parents. Some teachers joined in, but mostly it was the dads, you know, pulling off their jackets and borrowing the wrong size plimsolls, falling over. Donald entered. He appeared in kit and wearing running spikes. He won.
Right.
Whenever I think about him, I remember the spikes.
Yes. Men in their shoes.
I'm sorry?
Nothing.
Yes? Shan't keep you a moment. You look very nice. So?
Morse. He came over to my house last night.
And?
And now he'd like to meet us together tomorrow.
Why is that, do you think?
I've no idea.
Chief Inspector rather reminds me of a dog my parents once had. There was nowhere in the house I could go where he wouldn't find me. He was blind, the dog, and I don't think he was anything, no pedigree or anything. But in the end, he would always blunder in. You follow?
Oh, I think so, Headmaster. You're requesting that I keep my mouth shut.
You must have a lesson.
A headmaster having an affair with one of his own schoolgirls. He's not such a fool, surely.
Who knows? He wouldn't be the first.
So, the child, if she was pregnant, Valerie, it would have been his?
Yes.
A very attractive picture.
It's not a very attractive world. I know it's to do with power, the world these people live in. Power is what matters, not sex, not money.
Of course, Valerie could just be out there somewhere this minute, couldn't she? Just sitting there.
She could be, yes.
Then the question is, where?
SW3?
Or West 1, where the second letter was posted?
I wouldn't bother too much about the second letter. In fact, I wouldn't bother about it at all. I wrote the second letter myself.
£18.53.
What?
£18.53. It's you. I suppose you better come in.
That's your problem. Get out. I said get out of my house! Don't touch me! Let me go! You're hurting me! I said let me go! No!
No sign of Miss Baines yet?
None. Do you want me to give her a ring?
Yes, I think perhaps we'd better. She was all right yesterday, wasn't she?
I think so, yes.
Yes, do. Telephone.
how long?
Difficult to say. Last night. After 8 o'clock, probably. And before 1 or 2 in the morning.
Pushed?
Can't tell. Not easy to fall by accident. Louis says you knew her.
New is an exaggeration. Can they move her?
I think so. All right.
Anything missing?
Don't know yet.
I'll check upstairs.
Frank's is upstairs.
So?
I'm just saying.
Did you get a statement from the cleaning lady?
Yes. Well, you've got your body, sir.
What?
You were so keen to have a murder. You should be happy.
Right.
What's interesting is that 9 times out of 10 you'd survive a fall like that. The angle of the head, the nature of the surface. She was very unlucky, poor thing. Pretty girl as well.
Fine.
I'll get a report to you by tomorrow.
Thanks.
What now? I thought you wanted a body. Oh, by the way, I have a bone to pick with you.
Which is?
What's this I hear about forged letters?
No idea.
Stir around, don't you?
That's right. All right, Franks.
I've had a good look, sir. I don't think there's anything in here.
When you go downstairs, you'll find some scotch in a cupboard. Pour me a glass, will you? No, actually, put it in a mug and don't make a fuss about it.
Sir, how do you know, sir, if you don't mind me asking, about the whiskey, I mean?
Because I've drunk it before.
Right.
Mummy! Mummy! There you are. I've been shouting. I'll get a sore throat. George has fallen over. Mummy?
It's right, darling. Come in.
Some coffee. There's nothing down there. So what's next?
I don't know. She collected first editions, some very nice ones. A Lawrence, Houseman, The Wasteland.
Valuable.
I expect so.
No, I meant in the sense of it being possibly an aggravated burglary.
It wasn't an aggravated burglary. She sent the first letter.
Who? Miss Baines? Dear Julia.
That's why she cut the top off. She sent the Cravens a letter that Valerie had written to someone else. P.S. Love to Baines.
I don't follow. Who's Julia?
We met a Julia at Valerie's class.
What? And she was killed for this, you think?
No idea. Perhaps she was going to tell us something, although I gave her an opportunity. She didn't take it. I've no idea.
Sir, I'm sorry about what I said earlier. About you wanting it. It was out of order.
No. No, it wasn't. Come on, let's go and find who did it.
Sir, it's the chief superintendent.
Here? Sir. Terrific. Morse? Sergeant?
Well?
The deputy head at Homewood School.
I know that. And?
It looks as if somebody pushed her downstairs last night.
Go and make yourself a coffee, Lewis.
Sir.
You can be a prat, can't you?
I expect so.
What's this about forging a letter?
I forged a letter from the Craven girl.
Brilliant.
I was trying to make something happen.
Well, something has happened. And what about the girl? Anything? I say to you, don't bother the Craven family. The first thing you do is bother the Craven family. You sit in Oxford, forging letters and boozing, when the girl was last seen in London. You enter a flat without a warrant. And now the deputy head of the school's been bumped off. It's all a bit of a shambles, Morse, really, isn't it? Do you know who did this?
No.
No. Don't let me hear any more dirt on you, mate. Do I have to ask you to report to my desk every morning and breathe into my face?
No, sir.
Find the girl, find who did this, and don't prat about.
Who told you about the letter?
Look, I'm the chief super. If somebody asks for a whiskey in a coffee mug, I know about it before he's even drunk it. That's my job. You do yours.
Come on.
Where?
Everywhere.
I have absolutely no idea.
Where were you, sir, yesterday evening?
At the theatre, as it happens.
Your wife with you?
No, she wasn't keen. She babysat.
What happens if you both go out?
It depends. We might get one of the sixth form boarders. Sheila's mother lives nearby. She'll sometimes come over. It depends. No pattern. Am I a suspect?
Yes.
I see. Can I ask why?
I put this to you before. Now I want a proper answer. Were you having an affair with Valerie Craven?
No. Have I ever had an affair with any of my pupils? No. With any of my colleagues? No.
What time did the play finish?
It was very long and not marvellous. I listened to the 11 o'clock news driving home.
Did you pass Miss Bain's house on your journey?
No. I have a staff meeting. My deputy head has just died. You've obviously learned to take murder in your stride. I haven't. Will there be anything else?
Just a few details for Sergeant Lewis about your night out, and then we'll start nagging away at the theatre and the vicinity and where you parked your car till we are satisfied you were where you say you were.
Come in.
I'm very sorry, Mr. Phillipson, but I've got Julia Rorsley outside. She says she must speak to Inspector Morse.
Right, thank you, Pauline. Inspector?
Is there somewhere I can see her?
Well, there's, obviously there's Cheryl's room, or you could use Pauline.
Well,
Miss Baines's room will be fine.
Would you look after her and tell the staff I'll be a little delayed?
Yes, sir.
I'll leave it to you, Lewis. Mr. Phillipson.
Inspector, the play was terrible. I didn't stay.
And?
I met someone.
Who?
I can't say.
I think you're going to have to.
Oh. I was telling the truth when I said I wasn't having an affair with Valerie Craven. What I didn't say was that I was having an affair with her mother.
That's all right, nor do I, really. Julia, let's go for a walk, shall we? Miss Baines was a very special person, wasn't she?
Yes.
Look, I'm very happy to talk about this another day.
I loved her.
Right.
It was mutual.
Yes.
Although she couldn't express it, of course, because of her position.
And could you?
I'll not say it, no. But I know she knew, and she knew I knew.
And Valerie? Was Valerie special to her as well?
Sort of. Yes. But you know Valerie, she's very... well, she loves people being captivated.
Right. Where is she now?
I don't know.
And what about when she wrote?
Yes, Miss Baines wanted to see the envelope, but I'd thrown it away. Twit.
Why do you think Miss Baines sent the letter to Valerie's mother?
I don't know. She said it was, like, really important for Mrs. Craven to know. She was very annoyed with Valerie for not saying where she'd gone to or who with. And I think she thought it wasn't fair on her mum.
Good.
This is the worst day of my life.
It must be.
She was a fantastic person, so fantastic. Because you could tell her anything, she just understood. She understood everything. She was so beautiful. She'd never decorate herself for a man or anything, only for her own pleasure.
I'm sorry.
She showed me things. I went to her house and everything. She showed me books. She told me I must look. Look, look.
Look, Morse. Look, look, look.
You will forgive me if I do this.
Oh, no, carry on. You've changed your hair.
Yes, this is my own color, you know. The blonde was a phase. I'll have to see if I can be loved for myself alone and not for my yellow hair. Oh, that's Yeats, Inspector. Only God, my dear, could love you for yourself alone and not for your yellow hair.
Yes.
I don't think anyone else has noticed.
Donald Phillipson?
No.
Has it been your friendship? The details aren't my business, but is it a recent thing or what?
Through all the yellow hair phase.
Is there a connection?
Oh, I would think so, wouldn't you?
Does your husband?
No.
Where were you last Tuesday evening?
I think you already know that.
If you wouldn't mind telling me.
Donald went to a play. He telephoned me and he wanted to meet.
And did you?
We meet at Homewood. In the changing rooms. There are changing rooms beside the swimming pools. That's where we go. They're painted a sort of green color. The wood. And it peels. Inside, I mean. The floor's concrete. We've been very organized. I have a duvet in the back of my car. Donald has a cushion in his. Normally his son sits on it. You can smell orange juice, you know. Iced lollies. Always with my head in it, I'm reminded of his children.
And you were there on Tuesday evening?
Yes.
Where was your husband while all this was going on?
My husband is on committees. He's a great man for running things. He thinks I go out to learn how the Japanese arrange their flowers. Instead, I've learned how the English arrange their marriages. Aren't these lovely?
Very.
I love my garden.
Did Valerie ever realize there was something between you?
Donald and me. I don't think it had started before she left.
So, in fact, it's been within the last few months.
I should think so, then. I don't know.
Perhaps your hairdresser will remember.
I don't know.
You realize you may have to testify on Donald Phillipson's behalf.
Is that definite, then?
No, and I hope you won't need to. That you won't have to.
Thank you. Smell. I'll show you out.
No. It's straight through, isn't it?
Yes, that's right.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Morse!
Do you know the damage you've done? All night you were sobbing. Just lay there, awake, sobbing.
Do you realize what you said? That our daughter didn't want to come home. Well, you think about it. You just think. I only hope that you're here to apologize. And don't imagine for 1 minute I'm going to leave it here. I'm asking questions about you, Morse. Wherever I go, I ask questions.
I'd like to ask you a question, Mr. Craven. Where were you between 8 o'clock and midnight on Tuesday evening?
I'm just going to speak to the Barrington's neighbour. You want to come?
No, I want to catch Sheila Phillipson.
OK. How was Mrs. Craven?
She's had her hair dyed. She backs up Phillipson. Says they were doing things to each other at the swimming pool.
Well, guess what? According to his wife, David Acomb got home very late on Tuesday night. He was at a meeting in Oxford.
George Craven was at the Masonic Lodge, 10 minutes walk from Cheryl Baines. Witnesses as long as your arm. And the Masonic arm, as we know, is very long. Maguire?
At his mum's. Checked it out.
Hard to imagine him having one. Okay, see you later.
No!
No.
No! No!
He's too tall, see? That's another problem. He was more the size of that other one.
Oh, yeah, that's a woman police constable. She'd be a lot shorter than any of our men constables. Now, you're quite sure in your mind now that it was a man you saw?
I told you. I'm worried about her cats. She loved those cats. Doted on them. Who's going to look after those things?
Yes, could we try it now, please?
Well, that's right.
Bingo.
Bingo!
That's him, all right. Right coat, right size, right colour.
Well done, Martha.
Of course, I can't be definite. It was in the night time, but yes, that's him.
That was a police woman, Martha. And I think it was a woman you saw entering the premises on the night of the attack.
Mrs. Phillipson? Oh, I'm sorry, I startled you.
No, I was miles away. Sorry. Inspector Morse, sorry.
Thomas of Anlaby?
Yes, I'm doing him. He's my chap. I'm writing a little book about Anlaby, which is where I was brought up. It's a village in Yorkshire, and Tom's my protagonist. 13-something to 13-something. 72, probably. Have you come to see me?
Yes.
Well, would it be better if we went outside?
No, here's fine.
So?
You see, a girl has gone missing and a woman has died. And the connection is your husband's school. But a school can't be guilty of a crime, can it? At least not directly. So I'm trying to find the relationship between these two events. And I just thought I'd speak to you.
I see.
Research, detection. Similar trades, really. The old dirt, the relatively recent dirt.
I know about my husband and Grace Craven, Inspector, if that is what you are trying to say.
Well, I wasn't, but I'm right.
He told me yesterday evening. He'd brought me flowers, which is always an ominous sign. Presence and guilt. Someone should research that, Inspector, so... I knew anyway, but he told me yesterday.
So it didn't come as a shock to you?
No. No. Cheryl Baines was a shock, but Grace Craven. Look, when I met my husband, I was the most... Start again. When I say I was brought up in Anlaby, actually I'm a descendant. It's my family. When I met Donald, I think that was the most important thing about me as far as he was concerned. He wasn't bedding me, he was bedding a couple of 100 acres. I'm not saying he didn't love me, or doesn't still love me. That's him. He has a great many qualities, but there are certain things that he finds quite sexy. George Craven is a very powerful man. I expect it was quite thrilling for Donald to get into his bed, that's all.
I'm sorry.
No. No, what's worse, to discover your husband's having an affair or that he's killed somebody. Let's go for the little stab, shall we, rather than the shove down the stairs.
Why one or the other?
Well, Donald also told me that you had him down as chief suspect. Is that right?
So what time did you go to Miss Baines's house?
About 9 o'clock. I'm not absolutely sure of the time. And if I was seen going in by this neighbor, then I assume you know what time anyway. Anyway, Donald had the car, so I cycled. There was a light from the upstairs window, but when I got to the front door, I noticed it was already open. So I went in. She was just lying there.
Why did you go?
I don't know, really. I wanted to confront her, I suppose.
About?
Donald. I thought she was blackmailing him. I don't mean money, I mean... There was obviously something going on. She hadn't always been deputy head, for instance. That was Donald's doing, and utterly uncharacteristic.
Why do you say that?
Cheryl Baines didn't go in for men, Inspector. With the Donalds of this world, women like that don't fare very well. But then suddenly, a few months ago, he makes her deputy head and all sorts of other things, deferring to her on matters where he had very strong opinions. I don't know. I wanted to know what was going on. I had some thoughts, of course.
Which were?
I had a terrible fear that he was having an affair with Valerie Craven.
Which is why you were relieved when he told you it was her mother.
Yes, I suppose, yes. Probably. Relieved, I don't know. I know what it looks like, Inspector, but I didn't kill Miss Baines. I have no lover to vouch for me, but I didn't kill her. I turned and fled.
Straight home?
Yes.
And you didn't see anyone else? Nothing that struck you as odd?
No, I just cycled home. I don't know, I was... Well, of course, that was strange.
What was?
Well, I was coming round the corner by the pub, and I noticed a man sitting in a car. And it was David Acomb.
Inspector, got a minute? A minute? Yeah, sure. But I'm on my way to another lesson. You'll have to walk with me if that's okay.
You know about Cheryl Baines?
Yes. I saw it on the news. Terrible. It's incredible. I saw it on the news last night.
We're treating her death as murder.
You're joking?
No joke.
I can't believe it.
Where were you on Tuesday evening?
I was in Oxford. Well, you know that. You rang my home.
I'm going to have to ask you to come to the station with me.
But I can't. I'm teaching, I said. I can't just walk out of the school. Why can't you ask me these questions here, now? You know. Wait outside, you lot. Come on. Why do I have to come down to the station all of a sudden? God.
Because, Mr. Acomb, we have a list of suspects. And you're at the top of it.
Oh, Mr. Maguire. Sergeant Lewis.
Now what? Come on, now what have I done?
If I could just have a brief word.
No. No way. I want a lawyer.
Why is that now, sir?
Because you're on my case, you bastards, from morning till... Because I'm going to turn round and find half a ton of dope under my bed. And how did that get there, Mr. Maguire?
Oh, no. No. I was just wondering, in what way are you related to Valerie Craven?
Say again?
Would you rather talk upstairs?
No. I'd rather get on with my life, you know. I've got clients waiting. And I'm going to get a ticket in a minute unless I move my motor. So come on. What's all this garbage about Valerie Craven?
Well, I've got a form in the car. And it's from a private hospital around, as it happens, just around the corner. And it's for Valerie's termination. And on the form, as next of kin, she puts a Mr. John Maguire of this address. So I'm assuming she meant you. Are you married?
Stupid bitch, the stupid...
I'm sorry, but I had to come. We do need to speak. I'm sorry, can I come inside?
That's it.
Lewis, what's yours?
No, I'm fine.
So tell me. And don't look at me like that, Lewis. I'm thinking, and when I'm thinking, I get thirsty, so just...
Right.
Maguire.
Oh, Mr. Maguire. Actually, I think I will just have a half. Half, please. Bitter.
Thank God for that.
No, Maguire, very rattled.
Good.
He did help Valerie. Arranged for her to go to the clinic, lent her some money. So, yes, she was pregnant. And yes, she did stop with him for a couple of nights afterwards. But no, he wasn't the father. And no, she didn't tell him who was. Cheers. Said he hasn't seen or heard of her since.
Well, he would, wouldn't he? Why did he lend her the money? He's not the charitable type, is he?
Oh, no. I think, and I'm guessing here, but I got out my diary, and by my reckoning, she wouldn't quite have been 16 when she and Maguire were, you know.
Were, you know. You're such a prude, Lewis.
Anyway, that's my guess.
Hmm. And why, if Maguire isn't the father, despite the, you know, why didn't the real father help her organize all this?
Maguire didn't know, he says. But apparently, and this is Maguire's guess, he was under the impression that she thought that the real father wouldn't be too keen on her having a... That was his impression.
When it comes to biology, it's a foreign language to you, isn't it?
Anyway...
Lewis, are you a Catholic?
No, sir. Just the usual, you know?
Oh, the usual. Right.
Hey, but what about Acom?
Oh, I don't know. Catholic, you mean?
No, sir. I meant, what's happening? Did you see him?
Yes, oh yes. Yes, I've got him down the station.
And?
Can't imagine Acom killing anybody, can you?
I don't know.
There's something not right there. What do you know about St. John Baptist de La Salle? Doesn't matter. Come on. See, I think it might well have been an accident, or perhaps not so much an accident as a tussle. Do you know what I mean? A tussle at the top of the stairs. Struggle. An argument about something. An outburst. Temper. And then, without meaning to, without premeditation, the man, or the woman, whoever it was, suddenly has a dead body at the bottom of the stairs.
Yes. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Oh, God.
Yes. You come to Oxford for the evening, for the first time, you say, since you stopped teaching at Homewood. Although why you stopped, we don't know. It's a nice posh school. Good money. Principles, you said to me, wasn't it? On principle. Yes, and then one night, you come here, and the next thing we know, a teacher from the school is dead. And who is seen around the corner? You, David. So, tell us.
I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Well, you have a think, eh? Why don't you have just a little think on your own, okay?
Okay. Thanks.
So it was Acom. Had me money on anyone except him.
You might still be right.
No, sir, I think you got it. About the pushing and shoving at the top of the stairs. Bit sad, really.
Got a motive, have you, Lewis?
Not really. Except I wondered whether there was anything between them. Some romantic thing? Possible? Then a falling out? I don't know.
I'm driving Acom back to Reading. Do you want to come?
Why is that?
Catholics, Lewis. Catholics and faces. Who's that, would you say?
Well, I don't know, is it?
Why not?
Well, I can't see her face now.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right. I'm very uncomfortable about being here, Grace. I hope it's...
You hope it's what?
I don't want you to tell me you've had a dream or whatever it was last time. I don't know. Obviously, at the moment, I'm just saying you're not the only one who feels haunted.
Ah, now, the last time we spoke on Wednesday morning, I think the need was all yours.
Okay.
And at some point, I seem to remember any time, any place was fine.
Grace, please don't ask me to keep saying thank you. It wears me down. Please?
Okay.
And I've got half an hour at the very most. I haven't even got that. I really wish we could have arranged a better... Anyway.
Anyway. Hello, Donald.
I'm happy you're catching a train.
No, I brought you here. I'll take you home.
Well, I'd prefer it, really.
Besides, there are things we need to talk about with your wife.
I don't know which of you instigated this, but I have to say it can only be hurtful, can't it? It can only possibly be hurtful.
Did you know that Grace and I have never had a conversation by ourselves before? Just the two of us.
Really?
Yes, what I've realized, because I don't think either of us is particularly stupid, although maybe we are, is how plausible you are. So very plausible.
Is this going to lead somewhere, or are we just doing character assassination? In which case, I wonder if I might have a drink.
You can have a drink.
Thank you. Well.
Well?
I don't want to defend myself, but the woman is unbalanced. You've said this yourself. I'm not excusing myself. I haven't helped. I'm probably partly to blame for the girl going off, whatever. I'm just saying the desire for revenge, for striking out, that's all. I've told you everything, Sheila. And I'm not proud. But I believe in our marriage. In our children. What has she said? The woman is unbalanced. Half the stuff she thinks has happened, she's actually dreamed. You realize that, don't you? Do you know what I did this morning? I bought you some perfume. I wanted to come home and start again.
Has Sheila told you? My husband just called to tell me that David Acomb is being detained by the police in connection with the murder of Cheryl Baines.
Really? David Acomb? I don't believe it.
Well, that's what George told me just now.
How extraordinary. What possible reason could he have? Cheers.
Can I just go on ahead? It's just my wife. I'd rather not... Well, I don't want to confront her with two policemen without giving her some sort of...
Fine. Give us a shout as soon as you're ready.
Thanks.
He's not going to do a bunk, is he?
Acomb? No.
You know what's happened, don't you?
Yes, I think so. I think so. I think I probably do.
I'm sorry, I can't find her. I think she must have gone out somewhere. Do you want to wait, or would you rather come back some other time? It's up to you, although, as I say, she could be...
That's fine, we'll wait.
Okay, well, come in. I'm sorry about the... Shall I make you a cup of tea or something?
No, I don't think so.
Sit down, please.
Thanks.
It's a bit ridiculous, though, isn't it? She could be ours. I don't know, she could be really late.
Valerie!
What?
Valerie! She might as well come down.
Sir?
Valerie Craven! I know you're up there.
Oh, God.
Hello, Valerie.
Well, after all that, it was D. Acomb.
Which is good, because now you can tell Sheila what really happened on Tuesday evening.
In what sense now?
Well, she thinks we were together.
And we were, Grace. I wish we weren't, but I can't see the point in denying it. I've told my wife everything.
Donald, I have already explained to Sheila that I haven't seen you for months. That I tried to. That I tried very hard to. That I was beguiled. That I lost my daughter because of you. I've explained that.
What can I say, Sheila?
Sheila, he's lying.
Why? What possible reason could I have for lying? I'm admitting to my wife I spent the evening with another woman.
He's here. His car.
Valerie?
Leave her.
Why do I need an alibi if the police have arrested David Acomb? No. No more duplicity. I did something very wrong. I've done wrong. I've had to pay for it. I imagine I may have to leave Homewood. Although I'm hoping you'll be generous enough not to push your husband into that. Because more than anything, I love my school. Now, I know you're very sensitive to your dreams and...
Mom! Valerie! Oh, my God!
I
thought you were dead.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I think we should go, darling. This is a family time.
Inspector, you brought Valerie.
Yes.
That's marvellous.
Yes.
Where did you find her?
She's been in Reading, haven't you, Valerie?
In Reading, have you? Oh, God, I can't believe you're back.
Sheila, we really should...
Yes.
If you don't mind, I think I'd like you to stay for a few moments.
Why's that?
I think you know why, Mr. Phillipson.
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I haven't the faintest idea.
I want you to tell me again where you were between 8 and midnight on Tuesday evening.
Well, this is going to be impossible, because as it happens, I've just been discussing this with my wife and Mrs. Craven, and naturally, now that Valerie has come back, her mother is going to find it even more difficult to hang on to the truth of the situation.
I was lying, Inspector. He wasn't with me.
You see? The fact of the matter is that 6 months ago or so, Valerie came home early from school with a headache or some such problem, a stomachache, whatever you choose to call it, and unfortunately discovered her mother and me together upstairs. And it was very painful. And, well, the point is now, naturally, there are going to be denials.
You weren't with Mum. You were at Miss Baines's house the night she was killed.
No.
I know you were because I saw you there. I was there. I went to see Baines. I needed to talk to somebody about what was happening to me. I was getting homesick. And you know, she told me to come home. I was leaving the house. I'd left the house. When I saw his car draw up. And he went in. That's why David couldn't say anything. I was there. He would have had to have told you about me.
These are women who are distressed. You'll know this. I run a school full of them. Their emotions constantly get the better of them. Tomorrow there'll be different stories. There's no logic. There's no logic.
So Mrs. Craven says you weren't with her, and Valerie says she saw you at the Baines house.
I did.
I thought you'd got your murderer. It's Acomb, isn't it?
David didn't kill Baines.
David? Of course, Reading. She's gone off with D. Acomb.
Is that who you were with? Oh, God.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I should have come and told you, but I couldn't. I couldn't talk to you.
Now I understand. We've got one of them lying to protect her own reputation and to stop her husband beating her up or something, and the daughter is lying to protect the boyfriend. Now I understand.
Shut up. Shut up. Just stop for 1 second. Just stop lying. Please, Donald. Please stop lying, will you? It's so... Just stop, okay?
Okay. Okay.
Let's go, shall we?
Certainly. I didn't actually push her, as it happens. Not that I expect anyone to believe me. There was a struggle, and it was actually very simple. She wanted me out, and I wanted her out. It's the school. It's very precious. She wanted it, and I had it. And it was true what I said. It was nothing. It was... I don't know what it was. Not love, certainly. And then Valerie walks in and finds us in bed, tells Baines. Suddenly, at every corner, every decision, she's got a hand on the telephone to call George Craven. That's intolerable, isn't it? Let me tell you, it is intolerable. It was blackmail. Just because she didn't ask for money. It was my school. You see?
You can come with your husband, Mrs. Phillipson, or we can arrange for a car.
Thank you. I have to pick up the children from school.
Sir? We'll need to talk to you both, but not just yet.
Thank you for finding my daughter.
I'm sorry it took so long. Are you sure you're all right?
Oh, yes. Quite all right. Thank you.
don't know, do they? Aiken, the Cravens. They don't know about Valerie, the clinic.
No. That's why she went to Maguire. The mother, Aiken, both Catholics. She had to go somewhere, so she went to Maguire.
We're going to tell them.
No. Nothing to do with us. It was a missing persons case. We found her.